As if the massacres and devastation weren't enough, Oliver Cromwell's cruelty reached new depths with his policy of land confiscation and resettlement, a plan as vile as it was systematic. The bloodshed had laid the groundwork, but Cromwell's true aim was to strip the Irish of their very homeland, to uproot them from the soil their ancestors had tended for generations, and to erase their existence from the map. Cromwell's regime of confiscation was nothing short of legalized theft, carried out with the precision of a tyrant who knew no bounds. Vast tracts of land, once the lifeblood of Irish families and clans, were seized and handed over to English Protestants, many of whom were veterans of his campaign, rewarded for their butchery with stolen land. The native Irish, already decimated by war and famine, were dispossessed en masse, their homes taken, their fields plundered, their lives shattered. But Cromwell's cruelty did not stop at mere dispossession. In one of the most heartless acts of his reign, he decreed that the Irish who survived his terror were to be forcibly relocated to the barren lands of Connaught, an inhospitable region in the west of Ireland where survival was all but impossible. To hell or to Connaught became the grim choice for those who dared to defy Cromwell's rule. The fertile lands of the east, once the heart of Irish life, were now in the hands of Cromwell's Protestant settlers, while the Irish themselves were condemned to a life of poverty, starvation, and despair. This forced migration was nothing less than ethnic cleansing, carried out under the pretense of civilizing Ireland. Families were torn apart, entire communities uprooted, and the Irish people were reduced to little more than serfs in their own country, forced to toil on the very land that had been stolen from them. And all the while, Cromwell justified his actions with the same hypocritical zeal that had fueled his campaign of slaughter, a twisted belief that he was doing God's work by destroying a people he deemed unworthy. The land confiscation and resettlement policies not only broke the back of Irish society, but they also left a legacy of bitterness and division that would fester for centuries. The native Irish were pushed to the margins of their own land, while the new Protestant landowners, backed by Cromwell's brutal laws, entrenched themselves in power, sowing the seeds of conflict that would erupt time and again in the years to come. Cromwell's land policies were a final, devastating blow to a nation already on its knees. He tore the heart out of Ireland, leaving its people dispossessed, demoralized, and destitute, a people who would never forget the man who came as a conqueror, stole their land, and left them with nothing but the bitter taste of injustice. In Cromwell's hands, Ireland was not just conquered, it was broken. Its people reduced to mere shadows of their former selves, their land transformed into a monument to one man's unrelenting cruelty.